Yo, what's up, everyone? Welcome back. Jamie here today, and we're going to be talking about Heart, which came out in 2019. And it's basically about six friends who go to a haunted house for Halloween, but they start getting killed off one by one. I've got to say, this film actually surprised me. I've been wanting to check it out for a while, so I thought, why not? I just watched it, and it was actually really good. So let's just get into it. We'll talk about the story and stuff like that. So the film starts off with like a quick cut of this, I guess you would call it a trap being set up. We don't know why it's been set up yet, but we find out later on. And then we go to Halloween night. We're on a university campus, I think it is, and we're introduced to our main girl called Harper. She's with a boyfriend who abuses her basically, and she's like covering up her eye with makeup because it's Halloween night, and her friends who live with her are going out, and they decide you may as well just come with us, and she texts him saying it's over because he's like constantly like trying to phone her and shit. And he also throws a pumpkin at her house and drives off, and it's like you can clearly tell this guy's a dickhead. So of course they go out on the town drinking, and Harper meets this guy called Nathan and his friend, so they decide to tag along. And while they're outside trying to decide what to do, they find a flyer for this haunted attraction, so they decide to go there, obviously. It's Halloween night, you may as well, right? But they're followed by her boyfriend inside his truck, but they don't. Harper sees her boyfriend following, but they don't know, but they just carry on anyway. So they arrive at this haunted house, and there's a clown outside. He doesn't talk, but they're basically given this waiver they have to sign, which says like no phones. You have to take part in the tasks what are happening, and don't touch the actors. So they eventually sign it, of course, and they go inside. And at first it just seems like, a normal haunted house, like things are popping out. Like, I gotta say, the location and like the set design is really good inside this film. And also the outfits and shit, but we'll get into that later. Eventually they end up at this like glass window bit, and one person comes out with like a old witch mask, I guess you would say, and she pulls out a body bag, and there's someone inside it tied up, and she gets like an iron, and she starts burning her face, and then the curtains go. So there's our first witness to a murder. They're wondering like, was that real? Was that not real? So they continue anyway, because they don't know the person. The person tied up could just be an actor at this point, maybe. But it was really good effects, and they're kind of debating, was this real? Wasn't it real? They go through this part with like webs and spiders, and I'm like, fuck this shit. I would not go through that bit. And one of the girls notices an actual spider in there crawling about. So yeah, I would not be in there, man. I'd just be out at this point. I'd just be waiting at the glass bit. I'm like, yeah, whatever, come get me later. I ain't going through the fucking room full of spiders, no way. Like, skipping ahead, I don't want to go through like the whole details of the film. But they have like this bit where they have to put their hand through and like feel stuff inside. And the first two times it's just like grapes or whatever. But this girl puts her hand through and she gets sliced. She pulls it back out. You see all the cuts start coming. So, she's bleeding out. At this point, people are starting to freak out. So one of the friends go missing, and they get into this like graveyard room, which looks really good. I do like the design, like I said, of these locations. And this guy comes out with a chainsaw. Let's just call him Chainsaw Charlie, just to make it easier, I guess. And, he's going about with his chainsaw. But this guy one of the friends looks just like Tim Dillon, and he sounds like Tim Dillon as well. So we're going to call him Tim Dillon. Tim Dillon pushes the guy, and like they said at the beginning, don't touch the actors. So, they pissed them off doing that, but I think they were going to die either way. I don't think it matters if you touch the guy or not. So once again, it's like similar situation as before. They pull out another zip bag, and someone's inside there, and it's the friend who went missing. And they put a spike through her head, and the curtains go again. So now they're freaking out because one of the friends just died in front of them. So because of the girl with the arm slit, she can't go anywhere. So, Nathan decides to go ahead by himself to try and figure out, to try and find a weapon or something like that. He ends up beside this room full of, white sheets and shit. And, it looks like a load of people are standing there, but clearly it's just mannequins or whatever. But one guy steps out with this white mask on, and he starts talking. And he's like, you need help? And, Nathan's like, yeah, of course we need help. We want to get the fuck out of here. So while I sat down, Harper gives a little backstory about how she grew up beside a haunted house as well, because her dad was abusing her mum, which is just like the same situation she's in now with her boyfriend. The white mask guy who I talked about, he says his name's Mitch, and he starts leading them back the way they came. And he says, oh, this isn't a part of the act. I'm sorry it got to this point. He has keys on him and stuff like that. But Harper's smart, because before they go through this tunnel, she's like, give me your keys. She is smart, and she proves it throughout the film. She is a smart final girl, no doubt about it. So she takes his keys, obviously, and you have to go through this tunnel one by one to get back. So Tim Dillon goes through the tunnel first, and then Mitch goes after him. But then Mitch barricades the tunnel so no one can get through, leaving Tim Dillon all alone by himself. So the girls who were left who didn't go through the tunnel, this Red Devil guy comes through the door with a pitchfork and he stabs one of them through the fucking head with it. So she's dead as well. And like I said, like you start getting more of the costumes at this point and they do look cool, man. No doubt. Like I don't even know, you just have to make your own names up for them really, don't you? Like I said, I got Red Devil because the guy looks like a devil. We had Chainsaw Charlie as well. There was a witch. So eventually Tim Dillon reaches the outside. He's safe, you know, he's outside. At this point, I'll just be running me, man. Like obviously your friends are in there, but you should be going. Because he's trying to look for the phones, obviously, but the phones are gone. Come on, man. The phones are obviously not there. Mitch follows him outside, and he's like, do you still want to see what I look like without my mask on? He's got a hammer. And he smacks him off screen, but then it comes back. Mitch takes his mask off, and he's revealed, like, they're doing some face modification or something to these people, because he's looking very weird. But then we thought, the death was off screen, but nope, he gets the hammer, puts it to his mouth, and it starts peeling his head. Oh my god, it's brutal. Some of the kills and it's graphic, this film, man. These kills are definitely graphic. So the Red Devil approaches Harper, and Harper thinks it's a boyfriend. She says Sam, because she thinks it's a boyfriend doing this, but he takes the mask off, and we see, like, this guy's got tattoos. Like I said, it's basically face modification, really. He does look freaky though, no doubt. He does look scary. So we get another scene with the clown from the beginning. He's like got all the phones of the people inside. He starts microwaving them so they don't work. Harper's boyfriend phones the phone and he answers it and he's like, what do you want? Like, who are you looking for? And obviously her boyfriend's like, who the fuck's this? I'm looking for Harper. And he goes, you're too late. And he hangs up the phone. So that sends Harper's boyfriend, Sam, he's like, shit. But he's abusive anyway, so we don't care about him. But the film's setting it up to seem like, oh, he's going to come rescue her or something like that, which we'll get to later. So skipping ahead a bit, the same room where the clown was destroying the phones, Nathan ends up here and he's hiding for a bit until the clown leaves. And then he picks up the phone and he starts sending a message to Harper's boyfriend, saying like, help, because that's the only phone left at this point. But while he's doing that, he gets attacked by Mitch, so he has to move. But he does end up sending a message which sends Harper's location to her boyfriend. So skipping ahead a bit, Harper eventually ends up inside like a bedroom and she barricades herself in. But before that, like, she was inside like this knife room and she gets like her hands glued to the floor. She has to pull them up and all the fucking skin's gone and everything. She stands in nails. This girl goes through some punishment, no doubt about it. But yeah, she ends up inside this bedroom. She's got to look for the key, which is underneath the bed, and she starts getting flashbacks to hiding from her dad when she was a kid. See, at this point, I thought it was setting up, like, I don't remember if they mentioned or not if her dad died, but I thought her dad was going to be involved, like the dad would be the Red Devil or something, but he takes the mask off, and obviously she don't recognize him, so he can't be. But the Red Devil comes inside, and she stabs him with the key right inside the eye, and then she tries opening the door, which she's, trying to get out of the room. Boom! Shotgun blast through the door. So there's a shotgun on the other side which is on a timer, and like every couple of seconds it starts shooting. And also this, when it shot the door off, it hit Harper. She took a little bit of a bullet inside the shoulder, but she's still okay for now. So obviously she starts going inside the room where the shotgun is timing it. The Red Devil comes after her. He's choking her out on the floor. She fucking puts his thumb inside his eye, which would hurt at this point. He's already been stabbed there, which makes him get up. Shotgun goes off. Boom. Headshot. His head's gone. He's dead. He's down. So at this point, Harper's like recovering. And we see this like, I don't know what kind of mask. It's like a skull mask, I guess, with a hood on. And they ask, are you ready? And they send this figure out to Harper, but they're walking kind of slow. So at first you're thinking, is this like an old person or something like that? But this figure gets to the room, Harper hits her from behind and stabs her with a pitchfork right through the stomach, takes off the mask, and it's revealed to be her best friend who lives with her inside the campus, who went missing before. So she just killed her best friend and she's like, they're coming for you, so she shit's going down at this point, man. And Harper's boyfriend eventually makes it to the place. He breaks in pretty easily. And, you think at this point, oh, is this guy going to try and redeem himself for being abusive and shit? But nope. He sets off the trap, which we see set up at the beginning. And a screw gets shot right inside his throat, so he starts bleeding out. The clown comes over to him. And this is where it gets graphic. He drops a massive brick on the guy's hand and squashes it. And then he gets this massive hammer. Boom. Head gone. No redemption arc for you, mate. You're just an abusive piece of shit. You came to look for her and you died. So Nathan is still alive and he ends up finding Harper as this Chainsaw Charlie arrives with his chainsaw, of course. And Mitch is attacking Nathan at the same time. But Harper ends up, because she is smart, the chainsaw gets stuck on the shotgun and she ends up shooting the guy because, this Chainsaw Charlie, he's got a chainsaw but he seems kind of clumsy. So now they're in control. They've killed quite a few of them off. They're starting to get out, and one of the guys just surrenders. He's like, I'm new here. I didn't know they were going to start killing people. He takes his mask off, and he's got no. He just looks normal. There's no face modifications and shit because he said he hasn't killed anyone yet. But he mentions the leader was a tattoo artist, and then the other guy, I don't think he says much. He's looking for a gun, but he's like, wait, where's the gun gone? And then boom, he gets shot from behind by one of the remaining killers. But yeah, we're just skipping ahead to the end because I don't want to talk about every single plot point really. The clown ends up burning down the building because, at this point all his actors are pretty much dead. Nathan takes a shot from the last guy, but he just goes up to him anyway with a baseball bat and he smashes his head in with it. So Nathan and Harper escape to the hospital. We think that's it pretty much. But then we see the clown arrive at Harper's house where her mum lives. And he breaks down the door and he walks in. But he gets stuck and he looks down and what happened to Harper with her hands, he's stuck there. And basically she's trapped the fuck out of this house. And she ends up coming out with a shotgun. And she says, let's take off your mask. And she shoots him beside the head. Boom, film over. So overall, man, I gotta say, this really surprised me. I love the effects. I love the location. I love the costumes of the killers as well. And Harper is actually a decent final girl, no doubt. So I'd probably give this film a 7 out of 10, really. Let me know your thoughts and opinions down below if you've seen it. Make sure you click like and subscribe if you're new. Until next time, peace out in a bit.